Jones and Keefe, final hour, WEEI, live from Patriots training camp. We are presented by McFarland Energy, the heating, cooling, and bioheat delivery pros that Eastern Mass and all of Cape Cod depend on. McFarlandEnergy.com. If you're watching twitch.tv/Boston WEEI, you see Tom E. Curran rocking out there to the white stripes. Curran is
white stripes.
Not the black keys.
keys.
Yeah, you know, you were right around
Purple haze.
So we saw a light walkthrough today. We got joint practices tomorrow. So we've seen quite a bit to this point in training camp. We were playing a clip earlier from EEI Afternoons. Mike Giardi gave his grade on Drake May through 11 practices. How would you answer that question? How would you grade Drake May to this point?
B+. And I'm sure that, we have a tendency, I think, in the media to start grading relative to what you are seeing most recently. And I keep looking at May, and he had 2 picks on Friday. One ricocheted off of
Diggs,
and the other one was just sat on by Alex Austin, a bad pick. But to me, first year, new offense, he's taken unbelievably good care of the football. He's thrown it into trouble. He's had command. He's been accurate. He's been a good leader. Easily a B+ to me.
Who's been their best offensive player so far? Like, if you're adding it all up.
Him and Douglas have been their 2 best offensive players, I think.
So the wide receiver room, obviously, we were looking at going in, and Steph Diggs, I think, really answered the first question right off the rip. He's healthy. So that was really good. And then as you work your way down the depth chart a little bit, Mac Hollins has been out there for a little bit of stuff, but he's going to be on the team. Kyle Williams is going to be on the team because he was a third-round pick. Kayshon Boutte's another name, I would say, Tom, that we've heard a lot of. He's just been consistent, he and Pop Douglas. But then where does that leave a guy like Kendrick Bourne, who I know is banged up now? Baker's actually flashed a little bit more than certainly Polk or Chisholm has. How do you handicap the receiver room right now?
I would say that going in inverse order.
Yes.
My guy Afton.
No, it's not happening.
Oh, no.
Then
he had a nice catch yesterday.
Well,
yeah, he's also had a drop at the back of the end zone, and he didn't look good Friday night. He'll be on the practice squad. Then Jalen Polk. So Chisholm, Polk. I mean, Bourne and Baker are now neck and neck for that next spot, I think.
Wow.
And Boutte's pretty safe. Then Hollins, Williams, Douglas, Diggs. But, I think that Boutte and Bourne were in competition, and Boutte has just established himself as
you think
highly.
you think they're keeping 6, and Baker and Bourne, if I'm not to put words in your mouth, but I think if I'm doing the math right, you think they're keeping 6, and Bourne and Baker are kind of duking it out for that spot?
I think that if I handicap the whole thing, and I'd have to do all 53 guys, Jonesy, but if I had to say that's the order of the guys, and I think that Bourne and it's going to come down to a veteran guy who's over 30, who is productive but doesn't play any special teams, against a second-round pick last year who occasionally looks pretty good.
4th-round pick, though, right? You're talking about Baker.
No, I was talking about
Baker.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. And
So,
Polk's behind those 2.
Yeah, so with Polk, is that like a change of scenery guy, or is that a practice squad? Like, does the league look at him like, hey, he was a second-round pick a year ago and take a chance, or are they just like, yeah, we saw what it looked like, and they have no interest? Like, what's his fate?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, the Patriots have divorced themselves from second-round picks in the past.
Yeah.
I think Duke Dawson went over to Denver and didn't do diddly. A lot of D's in that sentence. So I don't know how Jalen Polk – I mean,
but
word spreads.
Anything.
Word spreads quickly around the league as to what went wrong.
If I were him, though, and I had a chance to go on like a practice squad here or elsewhere, I'd be like,
go somewhere else.
I would
change the scenery.
So my guess is if they cut him, he wouldn't be bad. It's just a complete guess. But my guess is that's how that would go down. I don't want to spoil early edition tonight. You're going to be on early edition tonight, Curran, Bragg. And I believe you guys are going to be discussing and looking forward to joint practices and the preseason game. I don't know how much you expect Drake May to play in the preseason game. If the offense struggled, and you just said arrow down at the scrimmage, big-time arrow down yesterday at the end of practice. The offense really struggled without Gonzalez, without Carlton Davis out there yesterday. If the offense continues to struggle, who are we going to blame?
Depends on what it looks like, and I'm going to give a little pushback. I mean, when you say really struggled, there were no picks. There were well-defended plays.
Yeah, but who was out there on defense?
Guys, it's a bunch of NFL football players, so they didn't have the 2 starting corners.
Yeah,
but it's red zone. I mean, look, it's just not the catastrophe that people are conflating it into between Friday and Monday.
No.
Let me finish.
But it wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but
Okay,
it was
good.
kind of a fair fight out there. It's not like, my God, they don't know how to line up or complete a pass. I mean, they did not convert. Big flipping deal. You people, what's wrong with you? Pull yourself together.
I'm just saying, if it looks like that, who do we blame?
There's no blame delay in that. That's the other team playing good. So I would, if it looks like that, I'll say, Washington got the better of them on a few plays. But I think it's overall.
For those that are listening on the radio and not watching on Twitch,
I'm in a good mood.
He's got his paws all over Jones now.
I'm very uncomfortable with all of it. But no blame is getting
most of New England has been uncomfortable with you for going off friggin' 13 years.
But you're saying that no blame to hand out then if they look like that against the Commanders.
Look, maybe I'm a softie. I just think that looks like football.
I was.
One team is not.
On my shoulder.
One team is not getting rototilled. The offense wasn't getting rototilled. Yeah. The defense wasn't. So to me, it was kind of a fair fight. If it looks bad tomorrow, I would first look at the protection that Drake May's getting, because to me, to cut to the chase, I think most people are going to say, well, Jaden Daniels is in, Drake May is competing against him. If he looks bad, people say, oh, Drake's down. I look more at, we will take a hit as a group who have said that this offense has improved and the offensive line has improved. Our contentions would take a significant knock if Drake May is scurrying around and throwing into coverage and off one foot and having to get flushed out of the pocket. That will be a Josh McDaniels and an offensive line issue greater than Drake May. So that, to me, is the most critical. It has to look better up front and with their answers at the line of scrimmage than it has in the last 2 years.
Well, jumping off of that, just Will Campbell, what have you thought so far a couple weeks into camp?
Same thing that same excuse making. We're going to do the same excuse making for him.
That's fine.
He's just getting beat occasionally. He's not getting absolutely undressed on a regular basis, but I'm looking at, okay, it's his first camp. Mm-hmm. It's 2 weeks in, but this is critical. Look, I would imagine he's going to get beat some one-on-ones by some Washington guys. Von Miller is there, I think.
Yes.
Right? So,
yeah. Dietrich Wise,
he's got big foot. The biggest feet. His feet are like scuba fins.
Really? He's probably a good swimmer.
Biggest feet.
We should have asked all the Patriots Monday and Friday questions. We never got to his feet.
No, we didn't get there.
This year was the year, too.
Yeah.
But I think that he is going to be tested because he's gotten used to Keon White and he's gotten used to Levon Chason and Swinson. So now he's going to see some different guys. He's going to get beat. How does he look in the 11-on-11s? I don't care about the one-on-ones, especially, the individual offensive line and especially the receivers on corners. It's just not a fair fight with going one-on-one, I think, because you have the whole room to run through if you're a receiver. But the 11-on-11 matters more.
And it's Tommy Curran, joins us every Tuesday here on Jones and Keefe. He joins WEEI Afternoons every Thursday. You told Afternoons a few weeks back, and you were like, look, I'm not saying these guys are getting cut. I'm not saying they're in jeopardy. But if I had to estimate a couple of surprise out-of-nowhere cuts, some names I would highlight are Kyle Duggar and Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson put a ball on the ground on Friday night in the scrimmage. Duggar was losing some reps yesterday to Woodson, the fourth-round rookie out of Cal. How do you feel about their roster security through 11 training camp practices?
I think Stevenson is more than safe. He's a lock. And I mentioned Onwenu, too, because of the massive cap hits that both guys are carrying. You have a guard who is, played last year, is about the 15th to 20th best guard in the league, and he's making a massive amount of money. And the same thing with Duggar, making $14.5 million. And he had a poor year last year, and he's kind of not been very present and obvious in this one. He's out there, but it's a lot of money to spend to a player of less than significant consequence. It's like 4 times what you would pay for basically a replacement level player. So to me, it remains something worth watching. I think that I can't even say that. I know that Mayo loved him. I know that 2022 he was one of the better safeties in the league. I always thought that he and Peppers together would comprise an excellent safety pairing, but it's just been a little bit since Kyle Duggar played like a rising player.
What about some of the other teams around the league surprising cuts? Should the Patriots be aggressive they have all that cap space everybody points to. Should they be looking around the league on all right, what's going to get peeled loose for whatever reason and try to add to this roster more?
Yeah, if you get a guy like Duggar, and it would be difficult to trade him because he did not have a great year in 23, and he's not doing much right now. So, it's hard to move that contract, but I would be scouring for trade opportunities, say with a Kendrick Bourne perhaps, to maybe get back a depth left tackle so that you don't have to have Vidarian Lowe as your first answer there, or Marcus Bryant. So to me, I would look at the tackle class and trying to either make a deal with someone like a Bourne or maybe even a Polk, the same way they did with Philip Dorsett with the Colts way back when.
Yep, Brissett.
So that, to me, would make a lot of sense to try and find those places where you have useful players. Like Kendrick Bourne's a useful guy. He just got – that sucks for him that he got tackled the other day. It sucks for the team, too, because if you wanted to move on from him and send him someplace, it's kind of hard to do at the moment.
What are you looking for at joint practices tomorrow, or maybe who specifically are you going to have your eyes on at joint practices tomorrow? We get a new team in, new way to measure up some of these players, as you mentioned earlier. So who are you going to have your eyes on?
Defensive line pressure. Can Harold Landry, Keon White, Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, those guys create some pressure up front? Caleb Von Chason, can they move Jaden Daniels around? Secondary, and it's tough, but okay, well, how is that cornerback depth? How does that look going against those guys? Duggar, I'd like to see something from him. So that's your defensive guys I would look to. I'm really concerned with the pass rush because it's been non-existent. And then offensively, offensive line, Campbell, Moses, how do they hold up? Does May have time? I'm intrigued to watch how Travion Henderson is used and how he plays, but I don't have any doubts that he'll be useful. So I'm less concerned with the running back group. And then Diggs, does he take full part in it? And I would imagine Diggs and Douglas are going to get the lion's share.
I know they said it was dehydration for Terrell Williams yesterday, and it was, he's fine, and he was back out there today. But man, it's only been a couple of months, and we've already had some scares with him. I mean, I don't know what the concern level is in-house, and sort of does that mean Mike Vrabel takes over play calling if there's a game day situation? But like, how much of a concern is the Terrell Williams just health status right now?
Yeah, and it's certainly newsworthy because of it's a team that generates public interest, and everybody's major priority, whether it's the team itself, ownership, the players, the media who doesn't know him very well, you hope he's okay. Is there a point at which they have to say, look, this is taxing as hell. You're standing on a 90-degree field. You're coming back from whatever it is we still don't know that you dealt with. Would it be better if you went on a little hiatus? And I'm sure that would be something that he's not psyched about because he's looked and waited and hoped for this opportunity. But the Patriots will need to have Zach Kerr be standing by, I would imagine, the defensive coordinator, the linebackers coach who worked as defensive coordinator throughout OTAs and picked up a lot of that responsibility yesterday. But it's one of those, it's almost trite because it's obvious.
Yeah.
You hope he's okay.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff is secondary, but it is noteworthy because there are 26 guys who play defense that you need to coach.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned if he had to take a leave of absence. You're not saying that's the case, but just in a scenario where he needs to take a step back for his own health, I think we would all understand that. Obviously, would that fall to Vrabel to take on more of a hand on the defensive side of the football? It's something we were talking about earlier. He's been very involved with Drake May and the offense over on this field. Typically, I'd say more of his time has been spent over there, not all of it, but more of his time has been spent over there. If he were to be away from the team for whatever reason, would it be incumbent on Vrabel to move and focus more on that side of the ball, and how would that impact the team top to bottom?
Yeah, it probably would mean that Mike would spend more dedicated time there the same way when the offensive line was missing Adrian Clem. Bill Belichick helped out a little bit more there. And, with quarterbacks way back in 2001 when Dick Rabine sadly passed away, Belichick was involved there. Vrabel had an interesting nugget Friday night at our press conference. He was asked by Greg Bedard, why are you spending so much time with the offense? It's like, because I don't know it. I'm trying to learn it inside and out so that I can answer questions and come up with, diagnoses of my own. So he would be, not saying he's not contributing there, but he's more coming up to speed on that, whereas he could flip into the defense and being in a teaching spot right away.
Vrabel was asked if Drake May was going to play on Friday in the first preseason game. He did give you an answer, which is fine. But do you think that he will, or do you think that he should?
I think that he will. I think that he should. I would be surprised if he doesn't, but not jaw-droppingly so. it'll depend how many reps he gets tomorrow because, we're probably not going to see Ben Woodridge much.
No, he might get a lot of preseason time though.
Yeah.
Oh no. I guess on Friday he gets a lot of run. Probably less so tomorrow. Do you think? And again, I don't know if it's a series or two, but do you think guys like Diggs, even Morgan Moses, like how much do you expect to see those guys Friday, or is that more get your reps in a joint practice setting than a preseason?
That's a good question on Moses. They've been managing him so much at 34 years old that maybe they don't ask him to put on the duds and get out there and run around just for effect. But I do think that this organization and this franchise is in a spot right now where it does need to do some outreach to its fans. It does need to, whether it's ownership or Mike Vrabel, show its fans that, hey, we know you came down here, you sat in traffic, you're sitting in the stands. We're not just going to give you Ben Woodridge for 3 hours and then send you on your way. Here's Drake May. Watch him for 2 snaps. Yeah. He's going to throw the ball 3 times and then get the hell out. And are you going to put him at risk just to make the fans happy? He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
You give any chance at all of Terry McLaurin leaving the Commanders and joining the Patriots?
I would say 0.01.
Oh.
Well,
okay.
I can't do it. I can't say 0.
You can't. It's the NFL. Guys move all the time.
I appreciate that. I like that. Do you, in your experience, do you think he'll even be here? Like, do you think he'll physically be here tomorrow?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, unless they've gotten to a point where they're saying, well, Terry, we don't want you around. Kind of one of those TO situations where, you're stinking up the room with your presence.
Keep those binocs handy.
I'll have my binocs ready. I'll be looking for Terry McLaurin.
But
that's for sure.
The idea that a Final Four team in the Commanders would
this is what I think.
Cut off its nose to spite its face
after
decades of stinking the way they did.
He has a lot of leverage. If he wants the DK Metcalf contract, he's got a lot of leverage to get it because they need him.
Yeah, the notion that Phil makes this point a lot too, Phil Perry, is he didn't really play until his junior year at Ohio State and then senior year redshirt, so he does not have the mileage on him that people presume he does.
The Micah Parsons situation, what do you think of it? He stays in Dallas? That's getting entertaining
to
watch.
That's getting a lot more venomous.
Yeah, it is.
It really does show Jerry Jones as he ages, his willingness to speak more and more frankly.
Yeah.
To the point of
good way of putting it.
I mean, to the point of really articulating some old school mentalities on a regular basis that are probably best left to the old school.
And then
he's getting close.
I don't even know. I should probably track this better. Jerry Jones not paying Micah Parsons somehow led to a Des Bryant, Nicki Minaj beef. You followed this on Twitter?
It was inevitable.
I have not, but it's a good point.
It was like bizarre because Des jumped in on Jerry Jones, and the next thing you know, he's like feuding with her, and it's like a lot of all caps tweets. It's like I don't know, I can't follow any of this, but it's all because of Jerry Jones.
Ooh, that sounds like a segment tomorrow. Yeah. This should have occurred to me earlier, but we got the Brady unveiling of the statue on Friday as well. What do you expect out of that? Brady's going to be there, right?
As far as I know.
That's the Patriots put that in a press release. He's going to be there answering questions, I thought.
Yeah, I'd go with that then.
Okay. Interesting. You hear anything?
We do it. Good. Who do it?
Have you seen this thing? Have you been one of the few guys to see the statue?
Have you heard anything about
I think Tom has. He's doing a weird no. He's shaking no.
No, I haven't.
I think he has.
No, he went to Tampa. We were fine for a while. I talked to his dad. And he said damn rights. And then Tom was like, you know what?
I do remember that. We still play the damn rights.
I do recall. Yeah, it's in the heavy rotation.
I'm pissed at you. All right, Tom.
Okay.
No, I'm not on the inside.
So you don't know like what
I don't know if you saw the statue.
I haven't.
It's going to be like a let's go or him with his hands on his face after he won the first Super Bowl. Like what you don't know what it's going to be. Yeah.
My favorite would be the Sports Illustrated cover where he's wearing the long Sportsman of the Year one. I like that one.
Okay.
I like that one.
All right.
Nice statue.
One vote for that. It's a little late to get your vote in, but that's a good vote. He is Tom.
The best.
He is Tommy Curran. NBC Sports Boston. Check him out on Early Edition tonight. He's here every Tuesday.
I'm not on tonight. I thought I would be.
Oh, I thought you said you were talking about that.
I thought I would be. Well, no, I was on the email. I was on the email.
No, not tonight.
I was on the email, and then they said, you know what, you're liberated.
Yeah, they're like, you gave it all away on John Keefe today. We don't need to do that. Okay. Well, anyway, you can check him out all over NBC Sports Boston here on Tuesdays with Jones and Keefe, Thursdays with WEEI afternoons. And, thank you for following through and showing up today, unlike some other guests who were scheduled to be here earlier in the program today.
Did you tell the people about it?
We did. We did.
Several
minutes on it.
Yes. I'd say we spent the bulk of a good chunk of a segment on that.
Did you send out a poll as to whether or not, and I'm sure the most people who would respond to the poll would say, yeah, you should have done that.
We should have just blindsided him.
Yeah.
Just a bunch
Hey,
of
Mike, how's the book?
Questions. Yeah.
How's Bill like it? Speaking of Bill.
No, we should do it.
Would you have done the same thing as us, Tom? Like, if they're like, hey, quick slants, you can have Lombardi on, but zero Belichick. You can't mention Belichick.
You know what? I don't think so at this stage of my career.
Yeah.
You know, my rabble-rousing days are kind of behind me a little bit.
Yeah.
Got it. That's actually him saying we should have done it.
But you guys
should have needled him. He's actually saying we should have.
You guys could have roused some rabble there.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, like, you have to figure to yourself, okay, what's this going to cost me down the road in terms of Mike Lombardi access?
Yeah.
Well, it costs us that.
Blood from a stone.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Touche. All right. Well, Curran, good stuff as always. You can check it out once it's up there shortly on the Odyssey app. Billy Lanny with all the latest in trending. And when we come back, it's time for Grab Bag.